And welcome to this week's episode. I got a pretty good list, and for this one, I'm going to start off, as you can tell, with generators. And if you go in there, you'll find fusion reactor and solar panels. This is craftable solar panels and fusion reactors by DD Productions 83, and it does just what it does. It says it allows you to craft solar panels, and it allows you to craft a fusion reactor. As you can tell, you do need a science level of 3 for the solar panels, and as you can tell, you also need a nuclear physicist perk of 3 to craft the nuclear reactor. I currently don't have that, so I did go ahead and build some nuclear, well, not nuclear reactors, but solar panels, because I can't build the nuclear reactors just yet, and hooked them up to my house tower thing. So this is about the size of what you're looking at for these things, and they will clip together if you want them to, so there is a good thing about that one as well. So as you can tell, I got 4 of them here. No biggie, nothing really too fancy. I could have put them on the roof. I could put them basically anywhere that I could try to. I probably could have even put them on my brick wall. Well, not really brick, but concrete. And as you can see, you can walk up to them, you can activate them, you can deactivate them, so you can toggle them on and off like any kind of reactor in this game. And yeah, they don't look exactly all that perfect. As you can see, it's got cracks throughout it, but they still operate. They do provide a power of 10, and I don't remember what the fusion reactor does, so let's run back and have a look at that. Okay, the fusion reactor is a 50. So if you do have a high enough skill and you do have all the materials needed, if you build like 1 or 2 of these, your place is set for power for the rest of its existence. So let's get on to our next mod. And have you ever wanted to build giant stone walls? Well, now you can. Hey, you know, he actually got through. Well, with this, if you have the concrete foundations, this is Stackable Concrete Foundations, again by DD Productions 83. This is an older mod of DD Productions, but still, I figured I'd cover it. It actually lets you craft 2 different kinds of concrete blocks. There's those ones and the ones that have the wood tops to them. Depending on which ones that you want, it really doesn't matter. If you run over the concrete ones, it still sounds like you're running across wood. It's all a kind of texture. But instead of trying to just like stack the concrete blocks manually and failing at that manually, it actually allows for you to clip them together, and it does that automatically. So you're able to build large concrete walls that you can have stretch around your base or the settlement or what have you. The benefit to this is as you see, I actually do have turrets up on these things. I just put little shelves and turrets on them. If I wanted to, I could probably have done the same thing on the outside, except I chose to put them on the top of the wall rather than put them on the outside. If you're wondering how it is, I had the walls basically intersect with this. There is a mod that allows you to make things that intersect with other objects. I highly suggest getting that. It will make your life a whole lot easier. But again, this is Stackable Concrete Foundations by DD Productions 83. And if you notice, it's been raining throughout this entire episode. That's because I actually have another mod running that I also want to show off. And if you look at the water, it does look like a lot higher quality. And if you notice that if you're noticing that since it is raining, you're actually seeing tiny little raindrops in the water. This is Wet Water Enhancement Textures by Sparrow Prints. So this actually goes through and it enhances all different water types. From people splashing into water. Let's see if I can. If you notice, it has a more kind of water texture, like the splash kind of textures to it, instead of like that milky kind of look to it. that the vanilla game has. Even the ripples in the game, as you see from Kiri walking through the water, actually looks a whole lot better than the vanilla one. If you know where there's any like waterfalls or any place that water is falling, it's actually going to look a whole lot better than the vanilla version as well. Now, let's get on to our next mod. Alright, well, our next mod is a slightly older mod because of the way that people didn't like the text wheel. So, this is called Full Dialogue Enhancement, and it is basically a huge dialogue thing for a ton of different languages. I'm not even going to try listing them all because I probably can't even list them all. And this is by Chirosin and Shadwar. And if you walk up to an NPC...
Look about you. Hope you ain't here for me. Can I get you a drink?
You're going to have this text pop up instead of the normal one. And on top of that, it will give the entire text speech instead of just a small snippet of yes, no, or whatnot. So, you just ask how things are going, and it'll say how things are going. So, in general, this mod just gives you the full dialogue instead of just the small option choice that you can have. And it also makes it so that it's the old kind of version of the Fallout dialogue options instead of the wheel that they put in for some reason. It's a small change, but it is an actually big change if you think about it. I mean, how many times did you go, I don't like the way that's set up, I don't like how it looks, I don't like how I don't know what I'm choosing. This basically clarifies the entire thing. Alright, now on to our last mod, and this is a character enhancement mod. And this, as you can tell, as I'm getting a haircut, is going to be a hair mod, and this is Ponytail Hairstyles by Azar. And it adds a large variety of different hairstyles that you can choose for your character. Some of them are harder to see with this current, way of doing all this, because, well, let's face it, ponytails are in the back of the head. You always see the front of the character. But when I say it adds a lot, it adds about maybe 10, 12 or so. And if you're going, this seems familiar, that's because I do believe that this is actually Azar's port from Skyrim. Because if you remember, Azar did have ponytail hairstyles, in Skyrim as well, so it could just be a port over. If not, then, well, it might explain why there's physics to the hair. So let's find ourselves. And now we have a ponytail.
You look like you could use a trim.
Let's take the jetpack off. That way there we can see it a whole lot better. And you can see, it does reach down quite far. So you don't have to actually really worry too much, and it does work with any hair pack that you might have put into the game. So just have fun and
take some time to mull it over.
And as you can see, as I move around, the hair will basically flutter back. If I stop, it drops down to your back, and it changes based on how you're basically running around. So now you got new options for hair other than the vanilla options that are in the game and the ones that you had to actually hunt down in the game, which are also still vanilla options anyway. So I hope you liked this particular episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below on anything that you might like to see in the near future, and I will try to check things out. Take care. See you next week.